Hey everybody, it's Jeremy with Dragon's Breath Glassworks. It's another Friday Furnace Side Chat, and I wanted to talk about color. I said last week that we'd be talking about color today, and I want to touch briefly on some different techniques. There are way more techniques than I can talk about. I could do an entire video on one technique, so I'm going to briefly touch on the most common that you're going to run into. And the three most common are going to be Frit coloring, that Frit chips, powder, however you want to talk about it, breaking up small bits of glass, melting them into the surface of the glass you're working on, casing it or not, and then blowing out your piece. This is my preferred way of working. It's the one I know most about. I prefer this for a number of reasons. It is fast, relatively speaking. It's not as fast as a Colorpot, of course, but it's faster than melting bar. But really, it's the variety. I can fill this 200-pound furnace with molten glass, and I can work all day long, and I can make 50 different things in 50 different colors if I want to. And I don't have to take any extra time than it takes to switch out a pan of color. That for me is great, but there's some other reasons I prefer Frit over bar or a Colorpot or color cups, and that is not just the speed and the variety, but depth of color. Now, I love a nice solid piece of colored glass, either transparent or opaque, it doesn't matter. When it's crisp and clean and bubble free and elegant, it's nice. But with so much mass-produced foreign glass coming into the marketplace, it starts to look like some of you can buy at Pier 1 Imports or Kmart or well, I guess they're out of business or going out of business, but Walmart or Target. You know, to set yourself apart requires more than crisp, clean colors from a Colorpot or bar. I think, anyway. A lot of people would disagree, and that's fine. You are entitled to your opinions. What I say is not gospel. But for me, I like to mix different colors. I like to swirl and fold and twist, and you can do that with a Colorpot and bar. It takes a lot longer, and the depth and richness of color you're going to get, I don't feel is the same. The way I like to work, I take different shades of colors from the same family, so I'll take 7 or 8 shades of purple, and I'll mix all the Frit together, and I'll gather that up, and I'll swirl it around, and I feel like it's very pretty, and I feel like there's more depth and movement, and it's more dynamic than if I just use a bar or a color cup. And I feel like my patronage, my customers at the very least, recognize that, and they enjoy what I do. Again, it's different for everybody. So Frit, that's my personal favorite. I do use the other things for very specialized things, but rarely. Now, as far as bar, it is just solid rod of color, and most people, when they use it, they will pick that up hot on the end of a pipe. They might have a clear collar that they pick it up on, or they might just superheat the tip of the pipe and grab that bar directly. That's not my preferred technique. There are some cool ways to make collars, but that I think are quick and easy, and they're just better all around. But if you want to pick it up directly onto the pipe, you can. Bar is pretty neat in that as long as you don't overfold it, you're going to stay really consistent. It just takes a long time to melt. Like anything else with glass, the different colors take different amounts of time. You know, a rod of black bar is going to melt down a whole lot faster than red, you know, or orange. So, you know, like anything else, it's about getting a deep, consistent heat before you start working. If you're not hot to the core, it's gonna be a nightmare. So it just takes time. You know, where I can melt in all of my color on a piece in 30 to 50 seconds, maybe, less than a minute usually. It might take me 3 or 4 minutes to properly melt bar. And if I'm willing to put that time in, that's fine. And there are times that I do, but it's very rare. A color cup is kind of that space between bar and Frit. You don't see it used a whole lot, but basically take a bar or a gather from a Colorpot, solid color glass, you blow out a small cup, you put it into a pickup oven, and you can blow a clear bubble into it, pick that up. It's much faster than bar, but it gives you a lot of the same look, a lot of that same color density, but again, it's very limiting. You only have the color you have, and it becomes tricky to get different shades and folds and things like that. Colorpots. This is one you'll see a lot in production studios. I kind of wish I had a color pot for certain colors. I use a lot of black and white as base colors for other pieces, white especially. I use white kind of like painters use primer. I use it to kind of set the stage and makes all the colors on top of it pop. It makes it more vibrant and brighter. So a white color pot would be great, but it's basically just a furnace with color already in it. So instead of working with clear glass, you'd work with blue or purple or pink or white or whatever you'd like. And there are some fantastic pieces made out of those pots. It's incredibly fast, way faster than Frit or bar or color cups, but it's extremely limiting. So you only have the color that you have in your furnace. So you're limited by how many color pots you have access to. Now you can of course combine techniques. You can use bar and mix it with Frit. You can you can combine techniques. You can mix bar and Frit. You can blow out a bar and cover it with Frit. You can do the same with a color cup or color pots. I mean, there's an endless variety. You can pull stringers and blow shards. There's really no limit. That doesn't even get into things like cane and murrine and all the different types. So if you are just starting out, I highly recommend you work in clear for a long time to get your skills, to see what the glass is doing, to get a feel. And then I recommend slowly working your way into Frit. If you know that you're never going to go that route, that that's not where your vision takes you, and you want a different kind of art, then you start working with the thing that you're going to be focused on, you know, once you get past the initial skill building. But you know, if you only ever have interest in working with solid colors, go straight to bars or color cups or a pot metal furnace, right? A color pot furnace. But yeah, that's basically it. There's not a lot to get into really, other than there are more types of color and color application than you can say. I hope you enjoyed that, guys. If you did, please like and subscribe. There'll be some other videos here, right, for you to watch. So please do so. And thank you so much for your support, and I hope you guys have a great day.